We're 2 months into 2024 and I've never been this productive before. Here's how. So I've been taking trainings that my job is paid for, along with doing a lot of personal research in order to find a productivity system that works for me. One of the trainings that I've taken is about Extraordinary Productivity by Franklin Covey. If you don't know who they are, Franklin Covey, the most trusted leadership company, is also known for its associations with 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, also written by Stephen Covey. Other than the trainings, I just love to consume content by other productivity gurus and people just living in the world of tech. All of this gave birth to a system that I developed, so let's just dive right into it. Before we dive into the system, I want to give you guys a little bit of background and talk about the time matrix. The time matrix consists of 4 different quadrants, so let's talk about each one. First, let's talk about Q1. The tasks in this quadrant are both urgent and important. They require immediate attention and contribute significantly to your goals, priorities, and responsibilities. Some examples include crises, deadlines, emergencies, and pressing problems. Covey suggests that while it is important to address the task in this quadrant, spending too much time here could actually lead to burnout and reactive behavior. Now let's talk about quadrant 2, where tasks here are super important for long-term goals, relationship building, personal development, and planning. However, they are not necessarily urgent and don't require immediate attention. Examples here include strategic planning, relationship building, exercise, preventative maintenance, and maybe just learning a new skill. Covey actually emphasizes that you spend the most time in this quadrant because it helps you be proactive and prepare for your long-term goals. Q3 is actually urgent but not important, and the tasks here are often interruptions or distractions that require your immediate attention but don't contribute significantly to your long-term goals or priorities. Some examples here could be phone calls, emails, meetings, some routine tasks, and maybe some minor crises. Covey suggests that you minimize the time spent in this quadrant, and you can do this by saying no, delegating tasks, or just finding an efficient way to handle the task. Q4 is the worst. It is not urgent and not important. The tasks associated with this quadrant are just time wasters. They don't contribute to your goals and they don't require your immediate attention. And you could probably think of so many different things that can fit in this quadrant, like excessive scrolling on social media, aimless web browsing, maybe just random types of entertainment that just feel like a waste of time. Covey advises that you stay out of this quadrant because it could just lead to procrastination and just you losing focus on what your goals and priorities are. All right, so let's talk about Q2. I already mentioned how Q2 is one of the best areas to remain in because it's really focused on your long-term goals, your priorities, and you're not stressing. So really quickly, I'm just gonna speed run through all of the reasons why it's super important and just beneficial to be in Q2. Number 1, strategic focus. Like I said earlier, all of the tasks within Q2 are all contributing to your long-term goals. Number 2, it's a proactive approach. You're dealing with things that are important, but not necessarily urgent. I mean, that's just the definition of proactive. Number 3, quality relationships. Because you're spending so much time building and nurturing your relationships, you'll be better off professionally and personally. Number 4 is personal growth. You'll reflect, you'll learn new skills, and you'll just self-improve. The 5th reason is reduce stress. I mean, you're dealing with tasks that are not urgent but are important, so you're not racing against a deadline. And number 6 is long-term success. Because of all of the other reasons, you're contributing to your priorities and your goals. Okay, so now let's talk about what that looks like in your actual life. For me, it actually started out by defining my personal mission statement, and the reason why is because my mission statement actually helps me define which goals are actually in line with my values. I don't want to set a random goal that down the line is not going to make me a better person or just has nothing to do with who I truly am. So I use my personal mission statement kind of as a guide to help me figure out what I actually am aiming for. So for example, and I'll just read mine out, my mission is to use my skills and knowledge to bring value into the lives of others while embodying the qualities of humility, caringness, knowledge, drive, and ambition, and leaving a positive impact on others. So because of that mission statement, I would say my goal here, trying to create a community on YouTube, is in line with my values. Anyways, that is pretty much all to say that you need to define long-term goals that actually resonate with you. And once you have those long-term goals, you just need to break it down into smaller goals that you could actually achieve. And that's what I did. So for example, I want to build a community on YouTube. That is a very long-term goal that doesn't really have any metrics, things like that. How did I break that down? I want to achieve a certain subscriber count by this time. Now that is a time-bound goal. So to actually make it achievable, I have to break it down even further to figure out how I can do that. So maybe posting once a week consistently for a year. Once I figure out that that is my micro level goal, that is something I need to achieve, now I figure out what in the week I need to do to make that possible. Maybe that includes writing the script, filming, editing, and maybe doing SEO or just trying to edit your thumbnail, putting it all together and posting it. Those are a lot of tasks that I just said, and it takes a lot of time to get that done. So trying to find the time in your calendar is really difficult if you're stuck in Q1. So instead for Q2, what that looks like for me is using a method called time blocking. Essentially at the beginning or the end of every week, whatever really works best for you, I sit down and write down all the tasks that I need to accomplish that are all just breakdowns of all my long-term goals. Once I have all the tasks that I need to complete for that week that are all there to help me get closer to my long-term goals, I need to now find time in my calendar so I can fit these in and get them done. So I'm gonna put everything in my calendar. I'm gonna put the time that I wake up. I'm gonna block out time for work. I'm gonna block out time for the gym. I'm going to block out time for all of the tasks that I need to complete that week and schedule it for the deadline that I set for each task. I know this all might sound difficult and very much type A, but it's helped me a lot. And there's also a few other principles that I use with this system in order to help me at least feel good about it and actually get the task done. One principle that I keep in mind is that I need to complete a certain percentage of that task to really just feel good about myself. And the reason of this is because I used to have this drill sergeant voice in my head that would tell me I need to complete everything by the end of the day. And if I don't, you were unproductive. That is not healthy, and it could actually lead to a negative mindset for yourself and for just all of your goals. For me, what that looked like was completing at least 60% of the tasks in order to build the momentum so that later on, when tasks got easier and easier to complete, I was able to aim higher. So rather than 60% of the tasks done that week or that day, maybe the next week or the day, I'm aiming for 70 or 80% and just keep that going until I'm at a spot where I can consistently put this effort into my work and consistently get the results that I want. Another really important principle to keep in mind is schedule times for you to take breaks. Literally in your calendar. The same way that you're time blocking time for you to go and work on your task, you need to time block some areas for you to take mental breaks. For me, what this looks like is literally just taking a task. Maybe I think it's gonna take 2 hours, so I take multiple slots of 30 to 45-minute work sessions and break them out, because I'm not gonna work 2 hours consistently on a task. So I know once I hit 30 minutes or 45 minutes, I can take a 10-minute break. This has actually really helped me build momentum to consistently get the work done. I feel so much better about myself. I don't really have a negative mindset when it comes to completing my goals or just anything on myself, because I don't feel bad when I can't complete one last thing for the day, maybe 2 last things for the day. And because I'm prioritizing some of the tasks, maybe this is going to account for 40% and then this one's going to account for 20. It feels even better when you can hit those bigger goals and then, trickle it down. So that is pretty much it. This is the system that I created to help me have the most productive year that I've ever had, and also make me feel really good about it in my mental space, at least. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to go and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.